standard equipment that is agreed upon globally for the use of working at height is the full body harness. There could be different types of makes depending with the manufacturer, but I want to show you the one that currently we are using, and you want to believe that it has more or less the same components and parts that you can relate to the one you as a delegate is using to wear currently as you execute your work. This is a full body harness. It must have a tag. That tag is supposed to give you the serial number. It is supposed to give you the year of manufacture. And then at the same time, it is supposed to have the EN standard that I already mentioned. As we move into the subsequent modules, I'll be taking you through the EN standards and what they mean and why EN standards we are using as a reference point. This is the full body harness. This is the belt. I'll put it on so that you're able to see from the front. This is the waist part. These are the gear loops. Gear loops are basically meant for you to use for keeping their equipment or other items that are not more than 1 kilogram of weight. This is the anchor point where you hook your double shock absorbing lanyard at the back. These are the chest strap for you. This is the waist strap, and these are the leg straps. Number 2 of the equipment that you need to understand is the double shock absorbing lanyard. Why double shock? Because it has 2 hooks. That is why it's called a double shock absorbing lanyard. You cannot unhook 1 and 2 at the same time. That is why it's called a double shock absorbing lanyard. You can only remove 1 at a time as the other one remains hooked. As you hook the next one, then this is when you can move the next one. That's why it's called a double shock absorbing lanyard. On the double shock absorbing lanyard, this is the shock part. It must have a tag. The tag must also have a serial number and must also have the date of manufacturer, possibly the company that manufactures the equipment. Number 3, you must have a work positioning belt. A work positioning belt, in the following modules, I'll be able to show you how to fit it. Must also have a tag. Inside there, you'll be able to find a tag, and the same tag must have the date of manufacture and the serial number as well. You must also have a helmet. This helmet must have straps, must have adjustable part, so that as you fit your helmet properly, then the straps prevent the helmet from falling. Remember, when you are working up there, you are likely to bend, you are likely to move on the sides, you are likely to do a lot of movements here and there. And in the event that you hit a place without these straps, then the helmet is likely to fall and exposes your head. And so any helmet used on working at height must have straps that are inspected to confirm that they are good and they can be able to secure your helmet properly. as you continue working. And you must have, finally, a carrier bag. This is where you store all your full body harness, double shock absorbing lanyard, plus the helmet. We'll go through in the following modules how well to pack so that your equipment remains secure and safe for use for a longer period of time. That process will be coming in the subsequent modules. About the rescue kit that I had mentioned earlier on. This is a rescue bag. A rescue bag has a 20-meter long rope. This is the rope that is normally used to make sure that we transfer the victim from their own double shock absorbing lanyard they are hanging on onto this system. And the system, as we move into the next trainings and levels, you'll be able to understand how to install the system for rescue. It is a 20-meter long rope. It is always inspected. We'll be going through that in the following modules to understand how to inspect the rope and make sure that it is reliable. The next component is what we call the lorry. The lorry is the very main system that is used with a trained personnel who is a rescuer to be able to use it to bring down the victim. This lorry is where the rope is always fitted into, and this is the driving mechanism that is used without struggle so that the victim is lowered to the ground safely. This is one of the equipment that is very critical in the rescue equipment that one is not supposed to miss. You must have 3 carabiners, whether oval shape or D shape. This is an oval shape carabiner. There must be 3 of them. Those are 2, and the third one is always tied on the rope with the bag. These carabiners are the ones that, as we move into the next levels, you'll be able to understand where each carabiner is used. But one of the places it's normally used, it's used on the lorry. Then the next one, it's used to transfer the victim with the front attachment parts to the rope. And we also have the padded sling. This is where you identify a strong anchor point closer to the victim. You put it securely at that particular anchoring point. This is where you bring the rope and attach it to the padded sling so that you are able now to create a separate system from the system of the victim to be able to help you transfer now the victim from the structure to the system using this padded sling. Why padded? So that it is able to prevent it from any cuts or sharp edges on the structure. And finally, in the rescue kit, we have the tape ladder. This tape ladder is the system that is used by the victim to lift them up so that you reduce the weight they are exerting on their own system of the double shock absorbing lanyard to the new system that you would have created. It can be used depending if the victim is not yet badly injured, they can use it. But if they are seriously injured, there is no movement they can make, then the rescuer will be trained on how to use this tape ladder to transfer the victim comfortably from their weight of the double shock absorbing lanyard to more softer position so that they are able to be transferred to the system for them to be lowered on the ground safely. And this is the bag that is used to keep the equipment safely.